All hell broke loose leading up to Jake and Nate Diaz's fight Saturday night, but it didn't start how you would expect it. A brawl broke out during the Jake Paul Nate Diaz press conference after Nate called Jake a homophobic slur, but what came next is what sparked the brawl that sent people to the hospital. It was calm before the storm, minus all the heated trash talking. Jake and Nate didn't hold back, cursing each other out, trading personal insults, everything you'd probably imagine. Naturally, it was during the face-off that things took a turn for the worse, but Jake and Nate went face-to-face with each other after tensions peaked leading up to this fight without trying to kill each other. But what was briefly a press conference win rapidly changed and took a dark turn. We've all heard the stories about Nate Diaz and his team getting into fights. As of lately, anyone connected to Jake Paul and his team has been a target for Nate Diaz. Nate's gone after Jake's coaches. Him and his team tried to fight Jake's family members backstage. Nate even knocked out the fake Logan Paul because he's just too close to home. During the press conference, Diaz called out a member of Paul's security team for an altercation they had in the past. Diaz didn't hold back, saying, "You know who the bully is? That bouncer right there who I smacked with a beer." He continued cursing him out in vintage Nate Diaz fashion, building up the tension leading up to a brawl on stage. Jake only egged him on with nothing but promotion in mind for this fight. Once the face-off ended, one of Nate Diaz's guys confronted the security guard that Nate vowed to deal with personally after his fight with Jake. What started off as heated words turned into pushing, which turned into punches being thrown by security guards and trainers on both teams. Jake's guys started ganging up on one of Nate Diaz's people while Nate Diaz's team was throwing as many haymakers as they could before being thrown off stage. According to Jake Paul, Nate Diaz's boy who threw the first punch was put into the hospital after the brawl. Jake also revealed that the Diaz team reached out to Jake to threaten pressing charges for assault. Not very on brand for Nate, and Jake took it on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, to voice that opinion. The bad blood here is as genuine as I've ever seen leading up to a fight. Jake Paul sees this beef as dollar signs while Nate sees it as a score to settle. Nate Diaz made it clear for him that the problems will not be solved in the ring and he wants to handle things his way, one way or another, unless Nate is the fake gangster that Jake claims him to be. With these two, you never know what's going to happen next, so make sure you subscribe to keep up with everything you need to know on This Day in Sports.